Hey guys, it's Connor, and today I'm going to share a few of my tips on how I save money when buying camera gear. The first tip is to just shop around. I like to keep a list of websites that I like to buy camera gear from. So that way, when I'm looking for a particular item, I don't just go to the one site that I prefer. I make sure I'm checking different vendors to see who has the best deal on that product at the time. Once I decide on what I'm buying and where I'm buying it from, before I place the order, I make sure that I go to the manufacturer's website for the item that I'm buying. A lot of the time the distributors don't advertise certain offers very well, or they might not advertise them at all. So if you go to the manufacturer's website, they often have things like mail-in rebates, 2-for-1 offers, extended warranties, and little bonuses like that you might not see advertised elsewhere. So it can help save a few bucks or just get you a couple extra bonus items for free. The next thing I recommend is to look out for bundles. Say you want a new camera. They often have different versions of a product where you can buy just the camera body, or you can bundle it with a lens, or get the body, a flash, a lens, an SD card all in one. And often these bundles, you're actually saving a significant amount of money, maybe 10 to 20% if you buy all those items together. So if you can wait a little longer, save up a little bit more cash, you might find that you're actually saving money in the long run. So keep an eye out for bundles like that. If you're looking for big ticket items or you're looking to save a large amount of money, the best thing you can do is take your time and wait for the holidays to come around. Black Friday, Boxing Day, those are your best bets in getting really good deals on expensive items. So if you're able to, save up ahead of time and plan your bigger purchases around the holidays to make sure that you're getting the most savings all year round. I find all my biggest savings for camera gear purchases come from buying used, and I know a lot of us just don't want to do that. We don't want to take the risk of getting scammed or getting a damaged item, but it's really not that hard. If you know what to look for in the item you're buying, you're going to be just fine. You're not going to get scammed. You're not going to have any issues, but you are going to get really great savings. It only takes a few hours of your time to research what exactly you should be looking for when you purchase something. Knowing to look for the shutter count in a camera and not just the body condition, or knowing to look for scratches or fungus or anything like that when you're buying a lens. This little bit of time spent doing the research is only going to keep benefiting you throughout your career while you save hundreds or even thousands of dollars buying used, just because you know what to look for and you know how to make sure that you don't end up with a bad deal. To give you one example about why you should buy used, my Sigma 18 to 35mm is what I'm filming this video on, and it's also maybe my favorite lens I've ever used. It's been on every video I've ever shot, and it's a staple. It's my go-to wide-angle lens, and I actually got this for 50% off what I would pay new. There's nothing wrong with it. It didn't have any scratches or fungus or anything like that, and he even had a UV protector on it for the entire time that he owned it. He needed a quick buck, so he didn't have the time to really wait around, haggle with people, and make sure he got the best price possible. He just needed to get that thing out. So I ended up getting it for half of what I would pay new. That's not the kind of deal you're going to get only shopping new. If you want to make sure that you're never missing a deal on a piece of gear you want, make sure you use a notification system. So for example, Craigslist has a system where you can type in that you want a Sony a6500. So anytime somebody lists a Sony a6500, you get an email about it the minute it happens. That way you're never going to miss out on the best price on an item. For sites that don't have a notification system like that, you can actually use Google and set up Google alerts so that anytime something comes up in their search engine, a listing on a site that doesn't have notifications, for example, you'll still get an email for that item. A lesson I learned recently was that it's not always cheaper to buy local. I live in Canada, and we usually have a weaker dollar to America, so things are a lot cheaper down there, but even if I were to bring something in from America, it's usually ending up to be more expensive because I have to pay shipping, I have to pay duty, so it's really not worth it in the long run. It's still cheaper to buy in Canada. However, recently I bought a rolling case to keep all my video gear in, and that, after I did a little bit of research, called around to a bunch of stores in Canada, they all told me it's actually a lot cheaper to just buy it from the States and import it. And sure enough, that's exactly what I did, and I saved around $250, $300. So for whatever reason, sometimes it's not always cheaper to buy locally and buy within your country. So take an extra few minutes, maybe an hour, to look at other websites in other countries and see if maybe you can get a better deal importing. The last tip I'm going to share with you guys is by far the most important one. And it's not really about saving money as much as it is being smart with your money. Now, I know it might be a really fun purchase to go out and buy that 50mm lens with a really fast aperture and all this kind of stuff, but it's probably not going to make the biggest difference in your video quality if you've already got a couple of decent lenses. So you should always be purchasing with that idea in mind. What's going to make the biggest difference in my videos? What's going to make the final product that much better? So maybe you should be looking at something that isn't as fun, but is going to make a bigger difference. It's going to be a lot more practical on set. Maybe you need a better lighting kit, or maybe you're going to save that money and hire a crew member instead. If you can be smart about where you invest your money, rather than thinking about your gear purchases as whatever's going to be fun and whatever's going to please you right at that time, you're going to have a much better time putting together all the gear that you need. And all that gear, even though it might not be a large amount of gear, is going to be the most effective in getting you from amateur gear that doesn't have great image quality to looking professional and delivering a professional product. It's okay to indulge every now and then on a fun purchase to reward yourself, or maybe you've got a little bit of extra money lying around and you don't have any pressing gear purchases right now. That's totally fine, but don't fall victim to that every time you buy a piece of gear. Make smart purchases and you're going to get a lot more for your money. That's all that I have for you guys today. I really appreciate you watching. If you have any questions or requests for videos in the future, just let me know. I'll be happy to help. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.